Hello and welcome to another edition of Knickerbocker Banter. I'm your host, as always, Harris Wishard. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I was dreaming watching Game 2 last night at Madison Square Garden. I've had to go back on YouTube and watch this ending about 40 times. It's that hard to believe. I can't comprehend it still. The Knicks were down by 5 points. With 47 seconds left, Kyle Lowry about to take his second free throw. What's getting lost in this shuffle is that he misses it to make it a two-possession game, which would have changed everything in my opinion. So if that goes, it would have been a lot tougher. Then Brunson, who was indecisive and struggled again, right? It's not news now. Brunson, 8 of 29 after going 8 of 26 and drives into the middle of the paint. Ball gets knocked away. If the Sixers could come up with that loose ball, because all they want to do today is complain. All the Sixers want to do is tell you Maxey got fouled and we tried to call timeout. Where is the accountability? You had about 12 chances to win the game before that. Not to mention Maxey pushing off. But let's go back to DiVincenzo picking up that loose ball with the Knicks still down by 5 points. Game changer, game saver. So he didn't just make the last shot. He kept that play alive. Found Brunson in the corner. And this is where Jalen Brunson never disappoints because he doesn't care how many times he's missed. He will continue to shoot the basketball. So Knicks fans should be proud, even though they know he's going to have to be a lot better going forward. That three hits the front of the rim and drops in. If it doesn't go in, game over again. So now the Knicks are down by 2, and that's when the schoolyard craziness, backyard ball breaks out, right? It said Maxey looks like he might have nudged Hart. He gets the ball. Looks like Brunson's all over him with the jersey grab, but the ball gets loose. And Nurse, you want to talk about indecision, wanted to call timeout. You saw him hesitating, right? He was doing this. We've seen all coaches do this before at the end of the game. Didn't look like he was verbalizing it too much until Maxey was on the floor. And sometimes, and I'll tell you where the home court comes into play here. Sometimes when the Garden is so loud, it might be difficult to hear. There should be a ref watching, Nurse, but I guarantee you Tibbs wouldn't have made it difficult to know that he was trying to call timeout. He might have gotten the ref's face. He might have screamed a little bit louder. To me, that looked like a coach that wasn't too confident until wanting to call a timeout until Max was on the floor. And at that point, Hart was about to take it from him. So the Knicks are trailing by 2. They get the 3, the turnover, and then DiVincenzo is wide open. You're like, there's no way he's going to make that. There's nobody guarding him, but are they really about to take the lead? Are the Knicks really about to do this, folks? Misses the shot, and in comes the Knicks savior yesterday. And you know, if you've listened to me all year, you know that I've talked about this guy ad nauseum, right? Almost giving him too much credit at times. But Isaiah Hartenstein flies in for an offensive rebound with 4 Sixers draped all over him. Again, the Sixers want to complain about the contact. They want to complain about the fouls. How about 4 guys trying to tackle Isaiah Hartenstein as he rips what I call a man's rebound, a grown man's rebound, I should say, and immediately finds, as he's falling to the floor, OG Anunoby. And another underrated part of this sequence was how quickly, I don't know if he didn't want to shoot it, but Anunoby knew where DiVincenzo was. And you could talk all about him not scoring a ton and not being involved offensively. That is OG. He's a smart player, man. He got that ball right back to the shooter, and anybody who's played knows 2 for $1 is a high percentage. He knows how he missed the first one. So he gets the second one, lines it up, and knocks down one of the most iconic shots in New York Knicks history. And they take the lead. And the game wasn't done there, right? And we just had Childs on earlier last week and talking about the LJ play. Now, that was the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a little different, right? Game 3 where the series was tied at 1. But this is up there in terms of drama. Wildest stuff you'll see. You don't really see that happen in the NBA too often. The turnover. So many things needed to go the Knicks' way in the last 47 seconds. And everything that could did. And that's the kind of team they've been all year. It's not surprising. right? They do not give up. They have a tremendous amount of heart, no pun intended, with Josh, who's been out of his mind. We'll get to that in a second. But the Sixers have the ball back now with 13 seconds to go, and Maxey had been killed. So we had a hunch that he would get the ball. He drives it. He has a good opportunity. And Isaiah Hartenstein erases it off the backboard. This is after getting the biggest rebound of the game. He erases the shot off the backboard. Isaiah Hartenstein had not played well for the first 6 quarters of this series, and he completely dominated the second half yesterday. Anunoby makes the 2 free throws. The Sixers then are down 3 after that, and then we know Embiid misses the heave. But I don't think I've ever seen a finish like that. Forget regular season. In the postseason, with that much on the line, with the Garden crowd going insane. I was at game 1. I wish I could have been at game 2. The bank account doesn't allow it, but it was just so special. I was glad I got to watch this with my family. We had a little Passover Seder and then getting to enjoy Knicks basketball. But that was just, and again, I've had to go back and look at it because I still cannot believe it. It was really that ridiculous. And they're doing this with some contributions that we know they had to get, but because Brunson is 16 of 55, they needed Deuce McBride to step up. And I want to shout out my cousin Jordan when I'm watching the game with him. 3 minutes to go, he goes, they got to get McBride out of there. They got to get DiVincenzo back in. And I think that was a really brilliant decision because even though McBride has been good, and this is taking nothing away from Deuce, it was one of the best moves Tibbs has made to me in his Knicks coaching career. Because, yes, the guy McBride has given you some baskets and he's playing with confidence, and we get that, but he's getting beat on the glass a little bit. And I think they needed a little bit more veteran leadership on the floor, a guy that we know can make a big shot and has been there, done that before, and a little bit bigger, a little bit better of a rebounder. DiVincenzo deserved, the way he played the first half, to be on the floor in the second half. So McBride gave you some good minutes again. He punked Maxey. That's called stealing your lunch money, is what that's called. He absolutely punked Tyrese Maxey and had a big N1 jump shot, too, in the fourth quarter. And give credit to Bogdanovich. Guys, I want these guys to be on the floor. I want them to play. You make some tough decisions. I had someone text me during the game. Bogdanovich got pulled too early. I like Bogey. I even predicted he would win a game in the fourth quarter for them early before the series started. He made a couple threes in the fourth quarter. But there comes a time when he can't be on the floor anymore. Maybe he should have got a couple extra minutes. But that's a guy that really struggles defensively at times. And Anunoby came in for him. Not to mention, Josh Hart is playing 48 minutes a game now. Can we speak about Hart for a second and how special he's been these first 2 games? I never thought I would see him hit a transition 2-for-1 off balance, right? He had a stop on a dime and hit a 3. The crazy stat about Hart that I saw earlier today, he didn't make 4 threes in a game all season long. Game 1, he had 4. Game 2, he had 4. I love irrational, confident Josh Hart because without him, the Knicks would be down 2-0 right now. Let's call a spade a spade. The Knicks have needed Josh Hart because of the struggling Brunson, because Anunoby's averaging 10 points a game. They've needed Josh Hart to be 21-14, and he's delivered. And obviously, the big shots down the stretch, and the Knicks playing unbelievable basketball in crunch time, but they're only going with 8. A lot of guys are asked to do a lot. I have the utmost confidence that Brunson will figure this thing out. And I think that's a big talking point right now. But he's seeing coverages, and he's seeing defense, and he's seeing some long bodies. It's difficult. We knew this was going to be the case. We knew other guys were going to have to step up. Obviously, the absence of Randall and having that true second scorer, there's some pressure on him, for sure. He was great in the playoffs last year. This is a different Adam. This is a different beast. That second shot creator is not there. He's going to have to adjust. I have no doubt in my mind that he will. And I have no doubt in my mind that he's watching film. He's figuring out a way. He's talking to Tibbs. He's doing everything possible because he wants to win. and he doesn't care how it happens. That's his mentality. So the Knicks go forward. Now, they got the job done. But if you think this is going to be a cakewalk, and you think Philly's just going to lay down at home, they want blood. You heard Embiid after the postgame, although he was crying a little bit. You heard what he said. I have the utmost respect for Maxey, how he handled the postgame, taking accountability. Maybe Nick Nurse could take some notes. But they're going to Game 3 in Philly. And even though the Knicks are 5-1 against the Sixers, including playoffs this year, that's going to be a dogfight. They got to get one there. I personally didn't think there was going to be a sweep at any point in the series. I thought the Knicks could get the first two. And I thought if they could go in, by the way, if they play the way they've been playing, which hasn't been bad, but if they play this style, they might find themselves coming back to the Garden with this series tied at 2. They have to make some adjustments. They were lucky yesterday, right? They played hard. They did the right things down the stretch, but that's a very fortunate victory for the New York Knicks. Still one that I might have, after I record this, I might have to go back and watch again because I don't even know if it happened. But Game 3, Thursday night, the physicality is getting turned up a little bit. I lose my voice after all these games. I'm passionate about it, love watching it. This is what it's about. When you've gone so long without consistent, meaningful playoff basketball, you obviously don't take it for granted, but this is what you want. The city is alive. You see it in the postgame, outside the Garden. Everybody wants this team to keep winning. It's a fun group, right? You got the Villanova crew. You got the center combination. You got McBride and Bogey playing well, right? Giving them the boost that they need off the bench. You got OG Anunoby, although not very aggressive offensively, making his impact felt when need be. This is a group you could get behind and love, as we've talked about a lot of the show. So as they head to Philadelphia, we hope they can make the necessary tweaks. And you know they're going to be prepared. Who is going to step up for Philadelphia? Because they need a third guy. It can't just be a beat at Max. Their third leading scorer last night, was Tobias Harris with 10. So if someone else can step up for them, and usually on your home floor, everybody knows the old adage. On your home floor in the playoffs, your role guys play better. We will see if the Knicks superstar and their other role guys could travel, and they could come back to the Garden in better shape. As always, enjoy. If you didn't enjoy that one yesterday, I don't even know what to tell you. Because I'm still coming off that high of what was one of the most exciting basketball games that I've ever seen. Knickerbocker Banter, we will talk soon. Appreciate all the support. Go New York. Go New York.